Work versus Family Level 2 Story, Part 1. David was a man who believed in hard work. Ever since he was a boy, he had dreamed of giving his family a better life than the one he had known. His parents were poor, and David promised himself that he would grow up to be rich, respected and successful. Now, as an adult, he was on the path he had always imagined. He worked in a tall glass building in the middle of the city. Every morning he wore a clean suit, polished shoes, and a serious face. His co-workers admired his dedication. His boss, Mr. Gray, often said, "David is my most reliable employee. He never complains, he never rests, and he never refuses work." But this praise came at a price. Early mornings, late nights. David's day started before sunrise. The alarm clock rang at 5:30 a.m., and before his wife Anna or his 6-year-old daughter Emma even opened their eyes, David was already preparing for work. He left the house at 6 a.m., carrying a bag full of documents, his phone buzzing with unread emails. When Emma woke up, she often asked, "Where's Daddy?" And Anna would reply softly, "He's already gone, sweetheart." He had to go to work. At night, when Emma was ready for bed, David was still not home. She would sometimes keep her eyes open, waiting for him. But she almost always fell asleep before he arrived. The little girl's wish. One Friday morning, as David was rushing out the door, Emma stood in his way. She was holding a small book of fairy tales. "Daddy, can you read me this story tonight?" she asked with innocent eyes. David bent down, kissed her forehead, and said, "Not tonight, Emma. Daddy has an important meeting." "But soon, I promise." Emma's shoulders dropped. "Okay, Daddy," she whispered. Anna stood at the kitchen door watching this scene. Her heart ached. She wanted to say, "David, can't you see what she really wants? She doesn't care about your meetings. She just wants you." But she stayed silent. She knew David's heart was in the right place, even if his actions were not. The empty chair. Later that week, Emma's teacher gave the class an assignment. "Draw a picture of your family," she said cheerfully. The children took out crayons and began to draw mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters. Emma drew her mother and herself sitting at the dinner table. Next to them was an empty chair. When the teacher came to look at her picture, she asked gently, "Emma, who sits in this empty chair?" Emma lowered her eyes and replied, "That's my daddy's chair. But he's never there." The teacher felt a lump in her throat. She said nothing, but later that day she told Anna. When Emma brought the drawing home, Anna showed it to David. He stared at the picture quietly. For the first time in years, he felt truly ashamed. The conflict in David's heart. That night, David lay awake in bed. Anna was asleep beside him, but David's mind was racing. He thought, "I work for my family. I work to give them comfort. But what is the use of money if they feel alone?" He remembered Emma's sad face when he left in the mornings. He remembered her small voice asking for a bedtime story. He remembered the empty chair in the picture. Tears formed in his eyes. He realized he was giving his family everything except the one thing they wanted most, himself. A weekend decision. The next day was Saturday. Usually, David would still go to the office on weekends. But that morning, he stayed in bed longer. When Emma ran into the room and saw him still there, she shouted with joy, "Daddy, you didn't go to work today?" "No, sweetheart," David smiled. "Today is for you and Mommy." Anna's eyes widened in surprise. It had been years since David spent a full weekend at home. They decided to go to the park. The sun was shining, birds were singing, and children were running around. David pushed Emma on the swing, chased her on the grass, and laughed more than he had in months. At one point, Emma hugged him tightly and said, Daddy, this is the best day ever. Those words hit David's heart like a hammer. How simple her happiness was. She didn't need expensive toys. She didn't need a big house. She just needed him. The boss's offer. On Monday, David returned to the office with a different feeling in his chest. He worked, but his mind was half at home. He wanted to see Emma again, to sit with Anna, to laugh together. That afternoon, Mr. Gray called him into his office. "David, I have an important offer for you," the boss said. "There is a new project coming up. It will make you a lot of money. You will be the leader, but it will require nights, weekends, and full dedication. Are you ready?" David froze. This was the chance he had been waiting for all his life. But then he remembered Emma's words. This is the best day ever. He remembered the empty chair. He looked Mr. Gray in the eye and said, "Sir, I cannot take the project. My family needs me more than money." Mr. Gray frowned. "David, are you serious? You're throwing away success for family dinners?" "Yes," David replied firmly. "For family dinners. For bedtime stories. For the things money cannot buy."